Hey guys, welcome to your 2.9 notes on percents. By the end of the day, you will be able to solve percent problems using proportions. It's so great. I have an awesome shortcut for you. But before we get into the shortcuts, let's look at some words and find what they have in common. So here we've got bicentennial, and if we are to break this up, bi means 2, cent means 100, and a bicentennial, that's like year, is a 200-year anniversary. So if you represent like the 200th year of a country, for example. A cent is 1/100th of a dollar, because there are 100 cents in a dollar. A centenarian, so a cent is 100th of a dollar. A centenarian is someone who is 100 years old. A centurion was a Roman general in charge of 100 people. And finally, a century is a period of time that's 100 years long. So what pattern do you notice here? Well, the word cent means 100. So go ahead and spend some time, maybe look up a couple, find a couple words that also have this cent equals 100 pattern. So some words that I thought of, you can look up their definitions, is a super centenarian, which sounds like a superhero, but would be a terrible superhero. Super centenarian man is here because he's extra old. There's also percent and a centipede, which is a liar. It doesn't actually have 100 feet. A centimeter. Well, I mean, I haven't actually counted, but I don't think that's true. A centimeter, but also this pattern occurs in Spanish as well. You have cien, which means 100. Centavo is a cent, so that's fun. Also, porcentaje is percent. And centurion is a centurion that we mentioned above. Yay, it's because Latin, cent, 100. Cool. So today we'll be talking about percents. We're going to talk all about the percent proportion today. Now, when you look at percent, per means out of, like miles per hour, and cent, we talked about earlier, means 100. Same thing is true in Spanish. Por means per, which is out of. Cent means 100, like cien. And aje is, it's a noun. Yay, percentage. Okay, right? So the percent proportion says this. If you have some number A, and you say that A is P percent of B, A is P percent of B, then that's the same thing as writing up a proportion. We say that A over B equals P over 100. That's the proportion. Now I'm going to draw out what's happening to you. If you have A is P percent of B, then you have this kind of model, right? And percents, these are fun. Percents go from 0 to 100, right? But let's say you've got some number A, and that's out of B. We could create some sort of like fraction here. So like A over B, you have B in total. A over B is going to be the same thing as whatever percent you have total. Okay, so this percent is going to line up right here. So we call A the part. So we say A is a part of B. A is a part of B. And we say B is called the base because it's on bottom. So we say B is the base and A is the part. So if we want to find out, for example, what percent of 50 is 20, then 20 is our part. We want to find what part of 50 20 is. So that goes up here. We're looking at of 50. That's going to form our base. It's our overall number. And then our percent, we'll just call P for percent, or even P for part if you wanted to. But what percent, or rather, what percent P of 50 is 20? Now, percent is purple. Okay, here we go. Now that's great, and that's kind of abstract, but I have a shortcut to help you that you are going to know and love. So if we look at this hint here, we say that 20 is our is number, and 50 is our of number, and the percent, whatever the percent is, that's our percent. And then 100 is always 100. We can use this shortcut to help us remember how to set up the proportion every time. I'm just going to move it. So we set up the proportion. We say is over of equals percent over 100. This is the proportion that you will want to know and love and use all the time. Okay? So is over of equals percent over 100. And look, in our example over here, 20 is our is number because it's right next to is 20. And 50 is our of number because it's right next to of 50. And then P is our percent, and that will always be out of 100. This is our shortcut. Let's apply it in 3 different ways. Oh man, I set up these examples bad. That's okay, we'll do it multiple times. Because sometimes you'll know the is number, sometimes you'll look for the of number, and sometimes you'll look for the percent. So here, we have what percent of 56 is 42? Well, let's find out what we know. I see this of right here, of 56. So 56 is going to be my of number. And I also see this is 42. So 42 is going to be our is number. And then finally, we have a what percent? So a percent is going to be our question. We don't know what it is. So we'll put a variable in there. Okay, again. So our is number is 42. Our of number is 56. Our percent we don't know, over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. Great! Now we solve it. How can we solve this? Well, we just use our cross products, right? It's a normal proportion. Cool, let's solve it with cross products. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to do our classic cross product in action. That gives us 42 times 100 is 4200 equals 56 times P gives us 56P. So there we go. Our cross products are working. And then all we have to do to solve for P is we divide both sides by 56. And that comes out to 75. So 42 is 75% of P. Now, because we are dealing with percents, you can leave your answer as 75. That's fine because I asked what percent. So the percent is inherent in the question. If you would rather leave your answer as 75%, that's also fine. I will accept both 75 and 75%. Okay, let's do another one. We're going to keep our percent proportion shortcut. What percent of 40 is 2.5? Well, let's set this up. We have a proportion. Now we need to fill in the blanks. We always put the same number right here. What's going to go right here? 100 always goes here. Now let's look for our is number. Is 25, or it's not 25, 2.5. So we'll put 2.5 here. Now let's look for our of number of 40. And finally, let's look for our percent. We don't know. What? Get it? It's what? So we'll just put a variable in there and then solve it. So we have 2.5 over 40 equals P over 100. We cross product it up like it were our job. In my case, it literally is my job. You can consider being a student your job. Let's find out what this percentage is. We have 2.5 times 100 is 250 equals 40p. Dividing both sides by 40 gives us, oh man, 6.25 is our percent. Is it okay that we have a decimal in our percent? Yes, that is totally 100% fine. Haha, 100%, guys, that wasn't even on purpose. So that is 6.25%. Nice. Okay, that's cool. Both times we were looking for a percent. But now we have something a little bit different. The good news is this percent proportion will always work no matter what information you have. So let's break it up. What do we have? We know we need to set up our proportion. We know that 100 always goes down here. So let's start out by looking for our is number. Is 7.5. So, and by 7.5, I of course mean 17.5 goes in here. What is our of number? What? We don't know. Let's plug a variable in there. How about n for number? And what is our percent? Our percent here is 125%. Wow. So we'll put 125 right there. Now that we have our proportion set up, let's go for it. So we'll start out our proportion. We've got 17.5 over n equals 125 over 100. Using our cross product superpower gives us, or should I say yields. Yields is a verb we don't use nearly enough. Yields 1750 equals 125n. To solve for n, we divide by 125. So n equals 14. Ta-da. So 17.5 is 125% of 14. Yay! Okay, that's cool, Miss Van Dyke, but when are we going to use this in real life? Well, I'll show you. Let's say you go shopping for a new outfit and you want to get a shirt and you see that it's normally $38.5 or $38.50. But it's on sale. Yay, we love sales for 30% off. What's the price of your shirt? Well, we need to find out what is 30% is 30% of, that's of 38.5. So let's use our shortcut. Let's set up a proportion, shall we? Okay. So our is number. What is our is number? Yes, what is our is number? We don't know. So we're going to put a what? How about n? Because we don't know what that number is. Okay. Well, what's our of number? Of $38.50. How about we just do 38.5? And finally, what is our percent? We know our percent is 30% because it's 30% off. Yay. We got our proportion. Now let's solve our proportion. We have n over 38.5 equals 30 over 100. So we do our cross product mathemagic. And that results in, see, I didn't say yields, I said results this time. 100n equals 30 times 38.5, which is, oh shoot, hold on. 1155. Shoot. I forgot to do this in my notes. I just have the answer. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do this real quick. 30 times 38.5. Oh yeah, that's exactly that. Good job, me. Okay. 100n equals this. Divided by 100. Divided by 100. So n equals $11.55. Does that mean the shirt costs $11? Wow, that's a steal. That's not a sale. That's a steal. But you guys, it's 30% off, which means this is not the final price. This is the discount. That's how much off it is. So we need to take the original price minus the discount to get the actual sale price. Okay, so that's 38.5 minus 11.55, giving us $26.95. Super, it's like 27 bucks. Still, great deal though. This is not the only way to set up your proportion. If this part was super confusing, you could do this step right at the beginning, the original minus the discount. So if you did that right at the beginning, you would see that we have 100% minus 30% to get the sale price is 70% of the original cost of the shirt. So we would want to set up, instead of what is 30% of 38.5, we would want to find out, hey, what is 70% of 38.5? Because that'll give us the actual leftover price. And in setting up that proportion, n over 38.5 equals 70 over 100, that will give you that n equals 26.95. So they both work. Two different ways to solve the same problem. Okay? As long as you've got your is over of equals percent over 100, it will get you eventually to what you need. Isn't that so cool? Math is so cool, you guys. Because even if you take multiple routes, you will still get to the same spot. Okay, one last thing. And it's super interesting, I promise. This is the simple interest formula. Now, interest is what happens when you put money in a bank and then you earn money on that. So that's money earned. Oh dear, money earned. Okay, so the simple interest formula, where you have your I equals your interest, so how much money you gain or how much money your debt gains. P is the principal, like the first person, the one most in charge. Your principal is your starting amount, how much money you invested at the beginning. And then R is going to be the interest rate written as a decimal. Oh, dearest. R is the interest rate, which I will give you in a problem, or sometimes I'll ask, find what the interest rate was, but that's hard to find. And finally, T is the time in years. How long were you investing for? I'm not going to put a model. I'm sorry. I should have taken that out. But the formula, we say the interest equals your principal times your rate times the time. Isn't it pretty? Ha ha ha. Okay. So these are all multiplied across. Time times the rate times the principal, your initial, what you start out with, equals how much interest you will earn. For example, if you start out with $50 and you have your simple interest rate of 3.5% for 3 years, that will work out to I equals 3.5% times, 50 times 3.5% times 3. I did the wrong color here, didn't I? Good deal. You multiply that all out and you get $5.25. So just by investing this money, you earned an extra $5. And that's why you should put your money in a bank instead of hiding it under the mattress. But check it out. In order for this to work out, we need to express our percent as a decimal. So that needs to be the same thing as 0.035 when you plug it in your calculator. So let's do this. Let's say that instead of $50, you invest $840 in an account that earns a simple interest rate of 4.5% per year. You want to keep the money in an account for 4 years. How much interest will you earn? Well, let's look at our formula and let's see what we have. Do we know our principal? We do. Our starting amount is $840. And then our interest rate is 4.5%. And the time is 4 years. So let's write this in our formula. We say our interest equals 840 times our rate times 4.5% times our time, which is 4 years. But wait, what's important about our percent? We need to write our percent as a decimal. That's the same thing as 0.045 times 4 times 840. Don't know why I put years here. It's not important. Okay. So now we have 840 times 0.045 times 4. And that comes out to $168. That's so good. So good. So remember to write your rate. Remember to write your rate as a decimal, even if it's given in a percent. And is over of equals percent over 100. This is your key idea of the day. Love it. Write it on all your homework. Put it in every single problem. And have a great time on your assignment.